On November 30th of 2024, Earthworks finished our septic repair and the leveling of our backyard. We were left with a beautifully flat surface, slightly sloping toward the back of the property for proper drainage. We took to calling it scorched earth because before this project, the backyard was filled with tall grass and weeds, a partial path, and a ton of birds, rabbits, and squirrels. It had been our dream for many years to make our backyard a naturescape for the displaced wildlife, as well as to create a sanctuary for our souls. A place where we could sit and chat quietly or walk the garden path in prayer or conversation. A place where the animals who lost their homes to local construction would find safety and food. We never seemed to find the time to fully develop the space, and it was taking forever to get anywhere on the project. Then we had to have the septic repairs done, and the backyard animal paradise was wiped clean. With a blank slate before us, we got excited about the prospect of getting this project completed. Join us as we embark on our pursuit of the backyard naturescape. You're compacting the dirt.
Yeah, a little bit. My arms aren't 80 feet so long.
We have 2 packages of these seeds. We're trying to spread them over this whole area. It's relatively, somewhat evenly, but who knows? The squirrels might come and eat them all tonight. Who knows?
Squirrels are going to love it, and the birds.
Oh yeah, birds. We got lots of birds.
Maybe we should run a rake over it and throw them all in the ground again. Give some of them a chance.
Yeah, Jason was just saying maybe we should run a rake over it and shuffle them in a little bit, which we might do, and then we'll water it down. And if you heard me eating my ice pop thingy, sorry about that. All right, bag 2. I didn't film us going to the plant sale because it was kind of chaotic. We didn't really know what we were doing or where we were going, and I didn't want to film a bunch of other people who didn't know us and all of that. So you missed out on the actual plant sale. I think I took a couple pictures and that's about it. Pretty cool though. So Snohomish County Conservation plant sale. They do it every year, and it's native plants. All sorts of different native plants. You can order online in advance, which I highly recommend. And then you can also pick some up walk-in. I actually ended up spending more on the walk-in plants than I did online, because online I didn't really know what I was getting. I was just thinking about like what I wanted, but I didn't really know how it worked in our particular setting. And so then when I got there was a plant expert who helped me out and gave me some more ideas. So that was kind of cool. So anyway, we'll see how everything does. We've got this planted, and now we're going to do a very light raking to get rid of Jason's footprints and kind of mix those seeds in just slightly, and then we'll water it. Okay, and then here we have all of our other plants that we're going to, bare root plants that we're going to put in tomorrow. The mosquitoes are going to start coming out here real soon, so we're going to just do this seed part we're doing right now, and then we're going to put these in tomorrow. Well, water it, then put these in tomorrow, so they're all sitting in water. Small problem with our 20-year-old hose. Yeah, so didn't see that till he turned it on, and then I got a little wet. Okay, so we got the goldenrod planted and all of the grasses planted. We planted some here, one over there, and the rest are on the far side. Then we still have these to plant, which I can't remember what everything is at the moment. But anyway, we have Oregon grape and flowering currant and salmonberry, and this is, well, I don't even know what that is. I don't even remember buying that. America Gale. I don't even know what that is. Spirica Douglas. And this is Osoberry, which she recommended. So that's what we have. I actually don't remember buying that, so I'm going to have to look that one up.
Paid for it.
Well, yesterday we got the, can't remember the name of the plant. I'll have to look it up. But today Isaac and I got the salmonberry planted, except for one that I think I'm going to give to my neighbor because she does a lot of good things for us. So I have one salmonberry left if she decides she doesn't want it. But the rest of the salmonberries got planted along here. And then Isaac went up in the tree and cut these dead branches he climbs those, so he didn't want them all the way gone, but he cut them shorter so they're not just hanging out, because they're like super long and they looked terrible. So, and also they're kind of like poking me when I'm trying to work. The other thing I planted today, Isaac helped me with, was the Oregon grape. So we have those spattered along here. And the one Sweet Gale or Miraca Gale, that's what I planted yesterday. So we're getting closer to done with the planting portion. And we have the path we still have to work on, kind of laying out a rough idea where we want that so we don't plant where it's at, but getting there. So we still have the currant and the whatever that one is, Spirica, and then the Oso berry, which I might also give my neighbor one of the Oso berries because she does a lot of nice stuff for us and it's fun to share with the neighborhood. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. Well, this is me at my finest, that's for sure. Took the dog for a walk, and I was so wet when I came back that I said, skip it. I'm just going to go ahead and plant some of my plants that I still need to plant. Because technically they're supposed to have all been planted by yesterday. I didn't make that cutoff because I bought off more than I could plant, I guess you would say, instead of bit off more than I could chew. Anyway, it's raining. And I did come back and end up getting the rest of the red flower and currant planted. So the only thing I have left now is the Oso berry, which hopefully I have someone coming to get one or two of those because I don't know where I'm going to put them. I mean, I have an idea for outside my fence where I might be able to put them in the front, 3 of them. But I don't know where to put the other 2 because where I was going to put it in this yard, in the backyard, it'll block. It's going to block like the view of the whole meadowy area, which is silly. I'll show you. Hold on. So if you're sitting on this and looking out that way across the meadow area, I don't want a bunch of super tall stuff right here. So where that green plant is, I was going, which I can't think of right now, sorry. I was going to plant the Oso berry because it's outside of the drain field area we discovered. We figured that out. Figured that out, that it was outside the drain area. So I was like, drain field area. So I was like, oh, I'll plant it there. But then I realized it's going to get huge and block the view. The mock orange, which we love, does not block the view that much because we keep it, there's a tunnel right through that section that we can see through. So I did end up planting the red flowering currant here, which also gets kind of big, but nothing like the Oso berry. So now we have a red flowering currant there. They're all kind of in this sector. I'm not very planning mode for planning where I'm going to put things. So it's kind of like, there's a hole, put it there. Anyway, I have a lot of very dirty, wet tools that I need to clean up real quick. And then those were my walking shoes, not my Do Garden Work shoes. So those have to get cleaned up and dried out. And then I'm probably going to have a cup of tea. So last thing to plant, Oso berry. Hopefully tomorrow, I don't know, we'll see. But I do like that I now don't have to water these right now. See you next time. So this is tomorrow afternoon's project. Yay, fun times. Someone down the street was getting a tree trimmed up, and I went over and just asked the guy that was working and said, hey, do you have any tips for a chip drop? Because my chip drop guy retired. And he said, let me check. If so, I said, here's my address. So literally just 4 houses away. Now I got a pile of chips in my driveway and I got to get it out fast because Jason's parked right there. Well, I did get the Oso berry. I got 3 Oso berry put into pots, giving 1 Oso berry to my neighbor. And then I'm planted 1 Oso berry in our front yard. So they're just going to stay potted for a minute till I can get to it. Because right now I got to get the wood chips out of the driveway. Unfortunately, Isaac and I were only able to get this part done because we're out of time and I have to go back to my real job. So, but we did get the chip drop done yesterday, and so now I have a pile in my driveway. So we're just going to pick away at it, do a couple of rows every day till we have this done. This obviously is not complete, and because we don't have our path figured out entirely, these are all just temporary holds. So we got that going on. Isaac has brought forth the shovels from the front. we got that much done. Isaac and I banged out, that sounds really weird. I don't know. Isaac and I hustled and got this other section done today. So everything there is good to go. I think tomorrow we'll do this part here. Do that, and maybe some more that direction, but for sure I want to get this part finished up. And then part of the slowness of this project is we only have an hour to work on it, and I'm trying to peel back because I don't want this in the yard, so I'm peeling that back, and then I'm figuring out kind of where I want my path, laying stuff to blockade the wood chips so they don't go into that area, and then so that's just taking time. It's just taking time. And then we both agreed that we love the smell of this. It's like fermenting. It's so cool. We both love it. So tomorrow this, but today we got this done. And I think that's it. So see you tomorrow. Maybe this isn't as exciting to you as it is to us, but when you've lived here for 1 years this June, and you've been wanting to do this project for the last, I don't know, a long time, and you're finally starting to get close to a finish line, it feels really good. So took some old logs that used to be like an edge like this, that were starting to rot away, put them out there just kind of decoratively. For some reason I apparently don't have a piece there. It might have been one of these pieces. It's just too rotted out to put back there. Even as a holding thing, I don't want it there. So I need to get just a temporary holding thing there. We'll finish off that little section. And then we got all that filled in. And we got all that filled in. And those logs placed. This is supposed to be wildflowers eventually. So the only part we desperately need to get done to start, we got some more plants to plant, but we need to get this part done hopefully tomorrow. We can get this part done, and then the main parts that we want the wood chips on are done. Then we can just find the low spots, fill in the low spots with some extra wood chips, and then start figuring out what it is exactly we want to do for the walkway. Right now, those are just all, you know, holding areas for where I want the walkway. So there you go. I'm just excited. It's exciting to see it like finally getting close to completion and looking good, and I like it. So I think it's going to be fun. And then I've got a bunch more of those. I might have said that earlier, but I got a bunch more of those that I can spread out throughout the area. And I'll have to be honest, so far I do not see any wildflowers coming up. I do see some weeds, but I don't see any wildflowers. So that might have been an epic fail on that part. But I have two friends. One's in the neighborhood and one's just a lifetime friend who works for, does garden, like arboristy stuff and garden stuff and all that. So they both have offered me some plants. So if this doesn't come up, I'll just do that. I'm still deciding whether I want to throw my columbine seeds in here or just see if this actually does what it's supposed to do. So keep you posted. See you next time. Isaac, thanks for your help today.
You're welcome.
Literally right as I'm getting ready to film this, somebody fires up some blower or something. This is all looking pretty good. I'm pretty excited because I think that if Isaac and I can hammer this out over the next half hour, we're going to finish this up. So that is the last section we have left to do of this part of the project. So I am pretty excited about that. I do want to swap out the board. Oh, this board. I want to swap this board for a log that will actually stay in place instead of the board, because I won't keep the board there. That board right there, that won't stay there. These logs will probably keep here, and then kind of keep this just as a meadow area. Unfortunately, I'm seeing more grass growing up than I am the wildflowers I planted, so that's kind of a bummer, but we'll see. I am starting to see some coming up. I don't know if you can see, that's grass, but right over there are some, I think, wildflowers. So fingers crossed. I'm going to spread some columbine seeds in here too. That little devil has got to go. Anyway, we're going to bang this out. Here we go. Okay, so this isn't perfect. This isn't exactly where I want it, but it's what we're going to do for now. This whole thing, I think, might be coming further that way away from the deck just so we have a wider path here, but I'm not really sure on all that, but at least that part's done. I started working on, right at the end here, I started working on fixing this part of the pathway and then double layering the filter fabric stuff so that we don't have so many weeds growing up under there in the meantime while we're waiting to build that area out. And then I want to start doing all the wood chips over there, but this area is done and I'm quite thrilled to see that several of my plants are doing, whoops, I just tripped on something, doing quite well. That's goldenrod there. That is red currant right there with the green on it. Another red currant. So those are all doing really well. Showed you that already. We did get this part done as far as getting it filled in. This area I got a lot thicker with the wood chips than I did over there. The problem is we got a huge dumping of rain for the last few days. So the wood chips now, instead of being a beautiful shade of blondish wood chip, it's now looking like this. So I'm not sure I want to give up the beauty of that for that. Still deciding on that part, but my neck and back are kind of done working on this right now. So I think I'm going to shift gears, and I think I'm going to take my mom's advice and maybe plant some peas over here. These were going to be my dahlia, tuber, tulipy, you know, all those kinds of things. I was going to put those here because I think they'd be really pretty, and then they can grow kind of tall. You can see them from inside the gym. But now my mom said that would be a great place for peas because the sun comes across this skyline right there. You see the sun is going that direction. So this wall gets a ton of sunlight. So I'm kind of leaning towards right now, just for this year anyway, since I only have these few little daffodils who are very far behind because I moved them too late in the year or too early in the year, depending on when you're looking at it. I'm thinking about maybe putting in the peas right here just for this year. And Jason built this little add-on deck just for these bins, which I got for free. So they're not the most beautiful thing, but they work. And I wish I had thought to fill the bottom with more wood and things like that. Novice mistake. Could still fix it. Not going to right now. Probably not this year, which usually means not ever. So off to go find my pea seeds and my little trellises that I got from somewhere for free. Yeah, gonna go do that now. And don't mind the mess because I really don't know what that's even from or why it's there. Well, here you can see the wildflower seeds. The Pacific Northwest wildflower seeds are starting to come up. There's also some grass, which I don't really care about. It is a meadow. And sorry, pardon my shadow. The buttercup, which is invasive here, so I am trying to get rid of it as much as I can. It's kind of everywhere. It's in our forests. It's everywhere. So it's not like it's not everywhere here, but I still don't want to be a part of continuing its prosperity here. So I'm going to try and get as much of this as I can. There's some spots that are like out in, and I don't want to step on all the little guys. So I don't know what I'm going to do about ones that are like way out there because I don't really see a good place to step. But these ones I can reach from the edge, I'm going to go ahead and get those. Side note, it is, what day is it? It is March 25th, and it is 70 degrees today. Unbelievable. Welcome back to day 8,562. Actually, it's nowhere near that long, but it has felt like quite a long time as I've been working on this just whenever I have time or can make time. Not that you can actually make time, like last night and today. I will be working after dinner, which I do not like to do, but it's worth it for me to be able to work on my project when it's nice out, which it is right now. So I don't know where I was at last time, but what I worked on today was pulling out all of the buttercup that was in here. There's a lot of buttercup in here, so that took a long time. Pulled up the buttercup, kind of realigned this walkway here where the walkway is going to be, laid out a little bit more of that. That's a train wreck, and I'm hoping it doesn't get too windy tonight. I threw some rocks on it, but hopefully it doesn't get too windy. These big rocks and concrete pieces over here are kind of marking off where that's for our sump pump. That, I don't know what you call it, actually. The water goes down there and it burbles out of that. Blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of marking out where I'm going to maybe build a pond area, or at least kind of like a wetlands type of area. So that's there. And then I just spread a little bit of the bark, wood chips, whatever, which are already starting to compost in our driveway. So, you know, I'm trying to a little bit hurry, but at the same time do a good job, because I don't want all this weed stuff, the buttercup especially. I don't care about dandelions. They're here. I don't mind them. But the buttercup is nasty. So I got that done. And then I think it was yesterday, I went through and I put a bunch of these in, which I think look great. I really like those. I still have more of those over here. There's a few little wild strawberries in here that I picked up last summer, and I've got them in here. There's one there. They did not do so hot last year. I think I got them in the fall, but there's a few in here. So I just have this piece of wood here kind of going around the outside to remind me not to step there, but there's just a few. I'm hoping they'll come back. And then over here by the hammock stand, I have some more of those to plant, and a few that have columbine growing out of them. So I need to plant those, but I'm probably going to put those in this area once I have it wood chipped. And then the other thing I was super excited about, now to get through here without tripping, I think I'll just walk in the wood chips. Super excited about, you can see all these little extra circles here. These are plants that I had gotten from my neighbor before the backyard leveling, from when they did the septic repair. They leveled the backyard for us a bit so we could do some more landscaping, and these guys managed to survive. So gotta watch my step because there's a few I haven't marked. That's one I planted from the Pacific Northwest plant sale. That one, that one, that one, that one, that one, those are all comebacks from the plants I got from my neighbor friend Nancy. That one. And then I started coming over here and I found more and more and more and more. So I decided I'm probably not going to mark them all, or I'll mark them as I get closer to this section. But that is exciting news, because I thought they were all dead. This one I'm hoping will come back. As you can see, it has a lot of green, but that was underneath. Oh, it was literally underneath and growing out from underneath of that giant rock. So just to give some perspective here, here's my hand. So that's a pretty big rock it was underneath, and it was still fighting to survive. The crazy thing, the thing's just absolutely crazy to me, is that basically when they leveled our yard, they, you know, just dug it all up. And then when they put it all back, it's basically like the grass. Instead of the grass growing like this, they flipped over the dirt so the grass is like this, upside down. And I'm amazed as I'm trying to pull out the weeds, how much of that grass is still growing that deep underground. I'm like, why don't you grow in my front yard where I have a lawn? Why do you want to grow back here upside down? But anyway, that's that. Oh, and a quick report on all of the Oregon grape I have out and about. Those guys seem to be loving it, so they transplanted really well. I'm happy about that. And I am off to grab some quick dinner and then get to work for my real job. Catch you next time.